Hi, I'm Renée Walker, a mindset mentor, speaker, and lover of all things spiritual. I believe that at our core, we are all spiritually wired for love, peace, success, and abundance. Here on the podcast, we're diving into mindset, wellness, and business, but always through a spiritual lens. Let's just say we're going deep, but we're keeping it light. So let's elevate your life from the inside out, one conversation at a time. Welcome to Spiritually Wired. Hello, and welcome to Spiritually Wired. I am your host, Renée Walker, and I'm really looking forward to today's episode because one of my favorite things is always exploring different ways of setting your day up for success. So I am a big fan of creating rituals in your life that support your energy, that support your goals, that support what you want to create, but also that support you and your spiritual connection. Because I do believe that in order for us to feel aligned, it happens in small moments every day. And the way that we incorporate these small moments is by creating rituals. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what is the difference between a habit and a ritual? And what I'd like to say here is that in some ways they're the same because they both mean that it is a practice that you do regularly. But the difference for me is that a ritual holds an intention. There is something sacred about a ritual, while as a habit is more of an action that you do. It doesn't necessarily have to hold any energy or intention behind it. You know, brushing your teeth is a habit. It's something that you do automatically. And also the other thing is that you can have a habit that doesn't serve you, right? You can have a habit of drinking a glass of wine at night or watching TV or sleeping in late. I mean, these are all habits that are not necessarily serving your higher self, but you're still doing them consistently, so they have become a habit. So when I speak of ritual, I am speaking of actions, practices that you do on a daily basis with the intention of serving your higher self. So that's why I always encourage people, when you are trying to incorporate certain practices that you know are good for you, then try to make them a part of a ritual. So whether it's working out, whether it's meditating, whatever it may be, when you can incorporate them into a ritual, then the energy around it shifts. And what helps with that is, you know, creating a sacred space for yourself as well. So making sure that your environment supports you. I know for me personally, I have a chair, and by my chair is, you know, a candle. I have a Buddha that I really like. I always keep my journal, my favorite journal, close by. I have a blanket because sometimes when I meditate, I kind of like to just wrap myself up. So those are all things that as soon as I sit in that chair, now it's become where as I sit in the chair, my body knows, okay, it's time. I can take a deep breath. It's time to relax. And almost immediately, I feel myself shifting into that space. I know it's not always easy. Sometimes we have, you know, maybe we live in a smaller space. We don't quite have a place that's just ours. I know I have some students that will have a tray, and in that tray, they will put some of their favorite things that, again, are just soothing to them. So it's the act of bringing the tray to the chair, and it may be a chair that you share with your entire family, but in that moment, you know that you are coming for yourself. So being creative around having a space where you know your body begins to know that, okay, this is my time right now. So those are things that can be really helpful. Now, what I want to share with you today is my favorite morning ritual, and it is something that has evolved over time, and it's also something that changes at specific times. So I always encourage people to know that your rituals, your morning practices, they do not need to be stagnant. They're meant to evolve. You always want to tune in with yourself and ask, okay, what do I need in this moment? So being specific and doing your best to kind of create that consistency, but at the same time allowing it to flow depending on what you need. But this here, that what I want to share with you today, is really part of the ritual that is quite set for me, that I've been doing consistently for years, and that has really served me. I love to begin my morning. So once I've gotten up and I've, done all the essentials that we need to do, I try to not wait. I try to go straight to my sacred space so that I can begin this ritual. The less time in between, the better it is in terms of it happening. And for me, it always begins with a moment of meditation. Now, as a meditation teacher in this podcast, I will be exploring meditation a little bit deeper. The purpose of this episode isn't to go deep into meditation, but what I will say is just taking a moment of stillness is incredibly powerful in the sense that it allows you to just simply be with what is. Stillness meditation can look different, and I encourage people to try different forms of meditation. There is part of my training that I did with Deepak Chopra. As a Chopra meditation teacher, we are taught primordial sound meditation, which is a mantra-based meditation. An aspect of that we teach, that we were introduced to, is called neti neti, and that basically is where you will repeat I am, and you say your first and your last name. So in my case, I am Renée Walker, and that kind of signifies who I am in this physical body with the roles that I play. Then you will repeat, you release the last name and you repeat I am and your first name. So I am Renée, and now that releases some of the different roles and some of the different attachments and what's happening in life today. And then the idea is to release the name and to come to I am. And just simply the frequency of I am. And in the I am is the space of remembering that you are more than your physical body, you are more than the roles that you play, and it connects you with that source, whatever that may source be for you in that moment. So that's always a way that I find for people when I teach meditations, it helps them to kind of detach from the everyday reality, all of the pulls on your energy, and it kind of just brings you into the space of I am. And you can repeat I am, just simply repeating I am for however long it is that you can be with at this time. Well, as I said, when we go deeper into some meditation episodes, then we'll go there. But for now, just repeating I am for a few moments, bringing yourself into that open space of being. Then is where we want to start to shift into, so one of my favorite writing practices, and it's something that I've been doing for probably a couple of years now, and it was inspired, it's called the Manuscripting Journal, and I loved the way that she laid it out. And so it begins with gratitude. Now we know that gratitude is the quickest and the greatest way to shift our frequency. And so always beginning with gratitude. So you can write down, I'm grateful for, and then you will write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Now, when it comes to gratitude, I always remind people that it's less about what you're writing and it's more getting into the feeling of gratitude. And gratitude can be gratitude for big things. It can be gratitude for small moments. It can be gratitude for the sun shining today. It can be gratitude for, something that you were able to spend some time with someone that you love. It can be, as I mentioned, big things or small things, but it really is about shifting into the feeling space of gratitude. And you can write these down, but just so you know, I've got a link in the show notes that is going to bring you to I've got this all out for you, so you can actually download a Manifesting Abundance PDF journal. So don't worry, you can take it all in right now, listen to it, and then when you go to the link, you'll be able to download that. So I've created that especially for you. The second thing is what you are open to receive. And so that was probably the shift that I have loved the most, because it's like, okay, I'm grateful for what is, and you're getting yourself in that space of gratitude. And now it's like you're opening yourself up to receive what it is that you want to receive, how you want to feel, what you want to create and manifest. So it can be, I am open to receive clarity. I'm open to receive calm in my body. I'm open to receive vibrant energy. I'm open to receive. So you're starting to shift yourself into the frequency of what it is that you want to invite into your life. So I'm open to receive, and then you're going to write 3 things that you are open to receive today. And that can shift. It can be the same. It can be, I'm open to receive new clients. I'm open to receive money. I'm open to receive deeper connection, love, whatever it may be, it can range. So just whatever it is that's showing up for you, that is in a space where it's getting that energy rising. And then you go into a scripting piece. And so scripting is breathing life into what it is that you want to create, what it is that you want to manifest. So you will start with saying, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then you begin to write. So in the PDF that you can download, I have it a page, so when you're writing it in your journal, just see what's showing up for you. But you are breathing life into what it is that you want to create, and you are writing it as if it has already happened. So you're not writing, I'm so happy and grateful that that I am receiving new clients, or that new clients are signing up. You're actually going to write, I am so happy and grateful now that I have these new clients that I get to work with. So you're speaking it into existence now. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm feeling energetic in my body. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have the clarity in terms of where my next steps are. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm spending time in nature and I'm feeling more ease and calm in my body. I'm so happy and grateful now that my relationship is thriving and I feel the connection with my children, or whatever it may be. So you're speaking life into it, and you will continue to write. Just again, with the intention of raising that frequency, your vibration, your energy. So that is the scripting piece of it. And then you go into what are your inspired actions? So what are you feeling inspired to do today? So when it comes to actually creating the changes that we want, we know that action does need to be taken, but we want them to come from an inspired place. So what are 3 things that you can do today to move the needle forward towards what it is that you want to create? So if one of the big focus is deepening, your relationship with your kids, then maybe it's making sure that you spend some one-on-one quality time with them today. That may be an inspired action. Maybe you know that the thing that you've been waiting or procrastinating on is reaching out to a potential new client. So that might be an inspired action. Maybe it's the book that you've been wanting to write, and you know that part of moving the needle forward is to take 30 minutes today to sit down quietly and to continue your writing process. It can be sometimes your inspired action. I know for me, sometimes my action is more around being. So my inspired action may be to stay present today when I feel myself being pulled into all different directions, to just take a deep breath and really be intentional with being more present. So these inspired actions can look different. They should look different every day because we're always evolving, and every day is going to be different too with what your main intention is. There's also a space for like an oracle card message, or really a message to self. So if you're someone that resonates with oracle cards, you can take a moment and just, if you have a favorite deck, you can pull a card and just having fun with that, letting it be a message for you to receive, or sometimes it's more just a reminder to yourself. So in that space, you can write yourself a reminder. You know, it can be an affirmation, it can be a mantra. I've shared in one episode one of my favorite affirmations that comes from the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, which is like, I am expanding in my capacity to receive love, to receive success, to receive abundance. So maybe that's your reminder to yourself that you are expanding in your capacity to experience love, success, abundance. Maybe it's a reminder that you are a being that is calm, that you are connected to love, whatever it may be. So just a reminder to self, or it can be an oracle card if that's something that you enjoy. I know a lot of people in our Spiritually Wired community love to work with oracle cards. And so after that is really another moment of just being quiet, being still. But the first one, when you begin, might invite a little bit more, let's say, presence. You're connecting to the I am. Then you're going through the writing exercise, and now you're actively shifting your frequency during this writing exercise. And then you end with a moment of stillness, and the intention may be a bit different in that now you're taking a moment to be in that energy, to feel that frequency. I will tell people, like, imagine like you're shifting, you're turning the dial on your frequency. So you're actually setting yourself up now, or locking in this frequency. If you have a practice of protecting your energy, you can visualize just a beautiful light surrounding you and protecting this frequency that you've now, this energy that you've now created. So that's a beautiful way to kind of end this morning practice. And you know, some things that you can add to that, but certainly this is more than enough. But I know this is a great time if you want to read something inspirational or listen to something inspirational. For those of you who are business owners, I always encourage people to, this is a perfect time to now add maybe a 30-minute ritual, or an hour if you have, that is more just doing things so that you can work on your business. I know for me, so much of my business was built exactly this way. I would start my mornings with my own personal practice, and then I would take at least 30 minutes, but most of the time an hour, just working on the things that I knew were important in order to move that needle forward. So this is also a great time for that. And then your day begins. And now it begins, you know, as you know, when it comes to this type of practice, it's not about checking off a box, because it's all, you know, your energy is being pulled in different directions throughout the day. So anytime you feel yourself being drained, every time you feel yourself, maybe your frequency doesn't feel quite as good, it's okay. You recognize it. You have a moment of awareness. You take a deep breath, and you just do your best to bring yourself back into a space of possibilities, into a space of more positivity. Part of the manifesting abundance journal that I am offering you as well at the end is also an evening practice. And I'm going to mention this one as well because the way that we end our day also plays a big role in the way that we begin the next day. So if you can take a moment in the evening to acknowledge what it is that went well. So I have it as like, what are 3 things that I'm celebrating today? 3 things that went well. 3 things that I received today. So if in the morning you're opening yourself up to receive, then in the evening you can take a moment to just acknowledge, what did I receive today? And it's amazing, just the small things that happen, the goodness that happens in our life that we forget about. I mean, we may feel it in the moment, but it's such a powerful practice to actually look back and to acknowledge what it is that actually went well and all of the small little miracles that may have happened. And it could be a call from someone that you hadn't spoken to in a long time. It could be a moment that you had just admiring the sun, the sky. It doesn't have to be anything big, but those small moments, the more we bring awareness to them, the more we start to notice them, and the more they begin to be the bigger part of our lives. So taking a moment to acknowledge what you've received and what you can celebrate. And I also share there an evening prayer. And so this evening prayer is interesting because it's something that I learned, that I heard Carolyn Miss, who is a wonderful spiritual teacher. I heard her say that when I saw her speak years ago. And I've adapted it, but essentially before going to bed, you can say something like, I surrender to the realm of healing. May the stresses of my mind, body, and soul be released. I welcome light, love, and healing into my being. And as the sun rises, bring me back to my body refreshed and renewed. Thank you for being a vessel of love and grace. So this is an interpretation of a prayer that she suggested, but I just thought it was so beautiful to really go into your sleep in a way of now opening yourself up to receive healing, because that is when our body comes back into balance, is during the evening. It's while we sleep. So it always stayed with me, and it's a prayer that I love to share with people. So I hope that this morning and evening practice can help bring you a sense of maybe calm and focus and alignment for you. It is one of my favorite things to do. And you want to remember that it's not about perfection. It doesn't have to be all perfect and all lined up. It really is more about consistency. So the more that you do, the more that you invite these practices, these rituals into your life, the more they become a part of who you are. So even just doing whatever it is, even if it's the moment of stillness that you begin your day with, even if it's only those 3 things you're grateful for, and that's all the time you have that morning, that is okay. Just learn to practice compassion, to listen to what it is that you need to do. This here is here to give you that framework to support you, because I know for me personally, I was always asking my teachers, like, tell me exactly what to do. And so sometimes it's helpful to just have that framework, and then you get to adapt it in a way that serves you most. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be posting a link for you to download that Manifesting Abundance journal. And I am just so grateful to be here. Until next time, keep shining, and remember that you are spiritually wired for greatness. Thank you for listening to Spiritually Wired. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow and leave a review. It really makes a big difference for the podcast. And if you're ready to dive deeper and join a soul-led community, come be a part of the Spiritually Wired membership. With weekly life lessons and a rich library of recorded classes, it's designed to support you every step of the way on your spiritual journey. We currently have a special offer where you can receive your first month for half the price. You can find a link in the show notes or come check it out at reneewalkerwellness.com. Until next time, remember to take some deep breaths. Remember that you are spiritually wired.